I'll pick up inheritance first so that access modifiers will be easy for you guys to understand. Okay, so starting with packages, does this name say something to you? Does this package tell something to you? What packages can mean?
Means something inside that one boxes.
Exactly. So packages are nothing but a set of or packaging of a set of related classes, interfaces, and etc. Okay. Now there are many other uses of having packages. For example, I'll close this. I'll create another project. Okay, how do I create packages? I can directly create any package like this, saying, for example, com.session.category. Okay, and I can then further add classes within it, add further classes or interfaces, or again sub packages within it, or else I can directly go ahead with creating a class. And if I mention a package name here, again, it's totally fine. Okay, so now this is another package which is created along with this. Now, due to this dot level arrangement, even this dot also creates a different folder structure. So what happens in actually, what happens actually is that, okay, so I have created two packages here, as you might notice. So source has all my source files, and bin has all the compiled files. So when I enter this, you can see that there is a folder called com created. Then there will be session. Within that there will be a cat guild, right? And within that there will be package. And now I have package demo.class. So if I'm a copy, if I have a same class within another package, it's totally fine. It's not something, it's not a problem for me, because when you actually refer this class, you will not refer this, you will actually refer this with the package name, saying com.session.acadguild.package demo class. That will be the class hierarchy which can be mentionable. So if you can go here, this package acad has one, this acad has one class, at the same time has a sub package. Okay, clear? And now this package is not again just to uh, this package again is not just to group code or group any similar set of code or instructions. It is also helping us in terms of access setting. How do we do this? We'll discuss when we are discussing about access modifiers. Okay. So this is with packages. You can create any number of packages and group your code based on the functionality or based on the type of code. Okay, for example, if user wishes to classify code or group code based on the functionality, he can, for example, in case of an employee management system, he can group code based on add employee related code will be in one package, or edit employee. So similarly, I can group any different types of code in different packages. If it comes to different, if it comes to like types, I can actually group based on layers of code. Like for example, I have a UI layer, and I have a controller, and I have an action layer, and I have service layers, and later on which can be having business layers and do layers. Okay, a general layering of any application. So in
Sir, DOA layer.
yeah, DO layer,
What it is, sir? Actually, full
it's
form.
a data access objects layer.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, so similarly, I can classify code based on different layers in different packages. Okay, so this is with different this is with the packages. Now moving on to what inheritance can mean to us. Okay. Any doubts with packages before we move on to inheritance?
No, no, sir.
Okay, I guess Deepak has not joined it today.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, okay. So moving on to inheritance, can someone tell me what inheritance means in a general English definition would be fine. Inheritance, Hemant?
So it is taking the properties of you, the superior one. The sense I have my properties of my dad,
What is
or
of my dad?
yeah, I have a property of my dad.
Okay, thank you for the programmatic definition. In general English, any Preetham, can you tell me what inheritance generally mean?
Inheritance, we take down the properties. That's what from the superior class. That's what I could say. Generally,
Everybody talks about properties. I guess I am wondering how much you guys have. Okay, so a general definition of inheritance would be like uh, inheriting certain characteristics from parents to offsprings, right? right? This is a real world phenomenon again, where we see this characteristic happening around us. So now again, this real world phenomenon is brought into our programming, where characteristics of a class can be inherited into another class. Clear? Is this clear? Now, how do we do this? We'll discuss about that. Characteristics of one class can be inherited into another class. So, if I have a class animal, can anyone tell me what are the different set of attributes I would have it categorized under animal? A few attributes and few actions. Can you all tell me? Give me one attribute and one action.
Height, weight, sir.
Height, weight,
Color.
How
again, color. Then,
You can take
is it
herbivores
omnivorous
or
or carnivorous?
yeah, food habits, good one.
So habitat.
One more thing, maximum speed. Can I tell this? Okay. What are all the other actions? What are all a few actions? Can anyone tell me? Actions?
Eating, sir.
Eating. Yeah, that's important. I agree with you.
Yes, sir.
And sleeping.
Yes, sir. It is also.
Uh, any more? Okay. We'll have this many set of attributes and actions with respect to an animal. Now consider I have different animals, right? Like lion, tiger, or dog, or a cat. I have different animals like this. Now, do you think it's better to create all these animal classes individually and give them all these properties which are general to all of animals, or make one animal class, put all these general attributes in it, inherit it into every animal class, every lion, tiger class, and get all these basic set of animal like attributes into it without any hassles? Which one does anyone prefer here?
The second option, sir.
Yeah. So I usually would classify all the general or generic attributes under animal and inherit it into all the animal classes which I create further, right? So now, for example, I'll create a dog class. What I do is I just extend animal. This is the keyword I use in Java to achieve inheritance. Okay, let me do that. First of all, I'll create a class called animal. Okay, under animal, I'll have different attributes. Public int max speed, public string species, Okay. So we have these many set of attributes with respect to an animal. Okay. I've just created a simple animal class with a few actions and attributes. I'll add one more public string. Okay. Now I have animal class created. At the same time, I'll create a dog class. Okay. So in this case, if I have to achieve all the attributes, or if I have to inherit all the attributes, or okay, we'll discuss about what attributes it can inherit once we are discussing about access modifiers. But for now, if you want to inherit attributes from animal, inherit any characteristic from animal, I just have to mention extends animal. That's it. Done. Now, whichever attribute or action which is there in animal can be referred via dog. Now, for example, in this, I'll try to create a dog object, dog is equal to new dog.
Pawan, I think you're in wrong class.
Wrong class.
You're in package demo.
Yeah,
So,
this one.
okay, yeah, I thought you have to create this in animal.java.
No, why do I need to create animal?
Okay.
I'm just creating instances of dog. That's it. I'm not doing any more.
Okay.
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 So now if I see doggy dot, can you see that there are a few attributes which are in animal, which I can see here? Animal name, color, height, max speed, species, weight, right? And a few actions also, right? All these are mentioned within animal class, but I could see that in my, when I instantiate a dog object also. For example, I'll have a few attributes mentioned exclusively for dog as well. String, breed name, and a few actions also, like for example, public void dig a hole. Okay. Now, if I actually have this, can you see that I can actually access a few attributes which are particular to animal and which are particular to dog as well. Now, the restriction part of it we'll discuss later, but this is with my inheritance, where I can inherit characteristics from my parent class to a subclass. Now, in this case, my animal would be a parent class or a superclass, and my dog would be child class or subclass. Clear with this? Is this clear?
Oh, yes, it's clear.
So now, okay, we'll proceed further into access modifiers. If you don't have any doubt with inheritance. Okay. So we'll proceed into access modifiers. Yeah, someone was having some doubt. Okay, I'll proceed with access modifiers. Now, in our previous example, you could see that whatever the characteristics which I have defined for animal were directly appearing in my dog instance, means were directly accessible through my dog instance. So now, in this case, do you think it is okay to have all the animal related information or all the animal related attributes and actions relevant to a particular um, particular animal, or do you think you need to define such things for each and every animal? No. In that case, what I do is I'll have access modifiers in picture where I can restrict access of any member to a particular level or to a particular extent. Now, how do we restrict it? We have four ways of restricting. We have four different options. First one is public. As you were noticing here, in my animal class, I was making all the attributes and actions are public. So this is one way: public, private, protected, and default. I would not say default, I'll say package private, as my Oracle documentation says this as package private. Now we'll discuss how this public, private, and protected and default actually plays their role in access restriction. Okay, I'll explain you what public, private, and default package or package private would be. And in the meanwhile, you will understand more about protected when we actually discuss table level detail. Okay, public. So this name itself tells that everything is public. So anyone can access me. Clear? If you mention any attribute or action as public, it can be accessed anywhere without any restriction. Okay. Now private. Private is, as the name says, it's very secretive and it can be accessed only within the class. Okay. Now protected, I'll keep it for later. Now package private. Package private is nothing but my default access specifier. Default, how do I achieve this? For example, if I remove this, this is my default access specifier. That's it. If I'm not mentioning any access specifier, that would be considered as default. Now, how will this act actually? Now, whichever attribute or action I have mentioned like this, I have actually defined or declared in this way. What it tends to do is it will be accessible for any class within the same package, not outside the package. Okay, that is why it is called as package private. Accessible anywhere within the package.
So I have a question here.
Yes.
Okay, you have removed that public in the animal.java.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, is that accessible in package demo.java in the other one?
No.
Okay.
I'll show you by creating an instance of it. Doggy1 is equal to new dog. Okay, I need to inherit this. Because that's in a different package, so I need to inherit it.
Okay.
Okay. So now if I say, yeah, can you see that attribute which I removed? I removed max speed, right?
Yes,
So
yes.
max speed is seen nowhere.
Okay.
Okay, that's it. So this is with my package private. Well, I'll take up a table. An Excel sheet would be easy for me to explain you all. Okay, so okay, increase the font to 20. Can you please go on mute? Okay, so class, I'll have this specifically for class. Okay, now coming back to our notepad. Okay, I have 4 different access modifiers on whom I can impose all these 4 different access modifiers, or on whom I can actually impose access modifiers. A general question. I can impose access modifiers on my class, attributes, actions. Yeah, exactly. Now in this also I have certain restrictions. Okay, on class I cannot impose all the 4 access modifiers. I can impose only public or
Public default.
default. Okay, why I cannot impose private or protected, I'll explain you. And on actions, yeah.
Pawan, if we talk about the singleton pattern, don't we have a private constructor for a class? Like if we talk about the class, can we have a private constructor on it?
Constructors, how does it different? First of all, constructors are already private, right? You cannot actually call that explicitly from another instance. Means like For example, if you're actually like basically what constructors mean are that like if you're trying to call a constructor of a class, for example, I have an animal class and I'm trying to call the constructor of animal class, I cannot actually call it from uh, I cannot call it from other instances, right?
Yeah, that's fine.
So
Yeah, got it. So it's just only public and default for the classes.
yes, for at a class level, I can actually use public and default, but at attributes and action level,
All four can be used.
yes, public, private, protected, default. Now, okay, so what would be the accessibility of public and default classes? We'll take this here. Okay, I'll say within the okay. So I have made a class as public. So is it visible to other class if I'm making it public in the same package?
Yes, sir.
Can anyone tell?
Yes,
Yes,
it
sir.
is visible.
Yes, yes.
Yes, it is visible. And if I'm making it default within the same package,
Yes.
Yes.
yes. Public,
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
default.
No.
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 Okay. So we have only these two attributes, or I mean, only these two access modifiers which I can impose on any class. Okay. Now moving on to what other attributes and actions have, I'll create another sheet. Okay. So I'll actually okay. So I have set the visibility. Now, okay. So now I want you all to come up with answers for this.
This
Okay.
is for attribute.
Yes, attributes and actions.
Okay.
If I'm making it as public, is it visible within the class?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And if I'm making a member as private, is it visible within the within the class?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes. If I'm making it as protected,
Yes.
yes, it is visible. If I'm making it as default,
Yes.
Yes, sir.
yes. Now coming to our next scenario. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If I'm making it as public,
Yes, sir.
private,
No.
good.
No.
Protected,
Don't know.
Yes.
Protected can be.
yes.
Yes. Default, yes.
No, 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 sir.
Default is yes because it's from the same
Same
package.
package.
Okay, okay.
Okay. Now,
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
private,
No.
If subclass is inherited from the base class, then private members can be accessible through actions of these classes.
nope.
That is
Pri-
okay.
Private is private, whether it is a subclass or a instantiation, whether it has a easy relationship or has a relationship, is again no. I cannot access them. Private
Yes.
is meant only for that particular class. Now, protected,
Yes, we can.
any subclass within the same package, yes. And default,
Yes.
Yes.
yes, because it's the same package. Now, I have from any subclass in a different package.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, public is accessible everywhere. Private,
No.
No, no.
no. Protected,
No.
No.
this is quite
No.
conditional. I'll say this as yes. I'll mark the clause here. Only when inherited. Okay, only when I inherit it, I'll actually be able to access protected members. And default,
No.
No, no, sir.
no, right? I have another clause from any class from a different package. I'll say non subclass.
What it means, a non-subclass?
Just any other class. I just wanted to confuse you. You are asking me in turn. Okay. In case of this, public,
Yes, sir.
yes. Private,
No, no.
protected,
Don't know.
protected,
No.
no. Default,
No.
yeah. So this is different levels of access restrictions I can have when I'm actually having when I'm actually imposing different types of access modifiers. Now, I guess you would have understood the importance of package now, because package is actually helpful in setting my access level restrictions also. Okay. So this is with my access modifiers. And now, since I have told you this, you can make note of this. And I want you to try all of these scenarios so that you'll understand it more clear. Okay. I want you to try each and every case so that it will be clear for you. Okay. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
If you need, I'll pass on this Excel sheet so that you can refer this.
Okay.
So this was with my access modifiers. And now coming to our next topic. Polymorphism. Any doubts with access modifiers?
No, sir.
Others? Preetham, Hemant?
No doubts.
Okay. So moving on to polymorphism. Well, can anyone tell me what polymorphism means?
polymorphism means object can take different forms.
Yes, anything behaving differently under different circumstances. Right? This is what my general definition of polymorphism means. Any object behaving differently under different circumstances. So now again this real world phenomenon is brought into programming world for our own convenience. Now what happens here is that our same method is made to behave differently based on the object calling it, based on object calling it or the parameters. Okay, so how is this achieved? A same method is made to behave differently. Now how is this achieved? It is actually achieved in two ways. First one is my static polymorphism, and the next one is my dynamic polymorphism. Okay, we'll discuss one by one. This is also called as compile time polymorphism. And okay, how do I achieve this static polymorphism is that now, okay, coming back to my IDE, okay, I have a dog class. Now in this, I have defined the method dig a hole. Now, what if I have a case wherein I have to mention the coordinates, like for example, X and Y coordinates, where this dog is digging a hole. Public void. Again, it's the same action, but the only thing which makes it different is that I need to mention the coordinates. So in that
Yes, I'm
case,
giving parameters.
okay, so this is totally fine. Now I'll take this same line. I'll say add okay. So I have this. At the same time, I would like to mention the house name where it is digging. I'll create another method with the same name, string. Okay, so the action was the same, digging a hole. Now it can be having different parameters through which it can be referenced, or it can have different ways to represent that action, right? So now I have just taken the same name and I have used it many times. Okay, so this is where I call this as method overloading, because the same method I'm actually overloading the same method in different ways. Okay, so now how do I actually call these different methods? Again, simple. Now, for example, I would like to call, so I can actually call any of them. Like, for example, my neighbor is Sarvesh. So if I'm running this, just says like this. I'll add. Okay. So similarly, I can call any different method. Now, how is this? Okay. So why do I call this compile time polymorphism? Because during my compilation time itself, the method which has to be called is bound with the object. Okay. So at runtime, it doesn't make any evaluation to call which evaluation to find out which method to be called. Okay, so that is why it is called as compile time polymorphism. Now there are a few rules which I have to follow while I am actually doing static polymorphism. Okay, so how do I do this? For example, static polymorphism I can achieve by having same name for all methods, right? And what did you notice? Having different method signature is a must to make methods look different. Now, return type can be anything, need not worry. Anything else? Where can I achieve this? I can achieve this within the same class or subclass. Okay.
So Pawan, return type will be same for all the overloaded methods, or it can be different.
It can be different. For example, I'll say int, or I'll say boolean, and I'll say
Return true.
return true. Okay.
Okay.
So this is totally fine. Okay. Now if I'm saying which
Okay.
one was, yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
So
got
this is totally fine.
it. Okay.
Okay. So these are the few rules which I have to actually follow while if I have to achieve static polymorphism. Okay. Any doubts with static polymorphism? Pritam, Hemant, Sarvesh.
Yeah, I'm fine.
I'm
Okay.
fine.
So moving on to dynamic polymorphism. So here, as I set the name dynamic, it would be my runtime polymorphism. or it is called as method overriding. Okay, I'll tell you why this is called as overriding or runtime polymorphism. Now, how do I do this? How do I actually achieve dynamic polymorphism? Now, for example, okay, I'll add another action in my animal method. Okay, so I'll say public void I'll say okay. So I have different methods. Like for example, I have a generic definition of animal perform sleep, and I have a specific definition of perform sleep for dog. Now in this case, consider I have package demo. Since I'll just I'll just comment out this part. Okay. So since animals are all the dogs or all the other animals are animals in turn, I actually can animal dog. I can actually create instances of any animal, and I can have its reference stored with animal reference. Now, yes, this is totally acceptable. For example, tomorrow if I have a cat, class cat, and if it extends animal, okay, now I am saying animal kitty cat. Yes, this is totally fine, because again in turn all this cat and dog are animals, so it is a actually animal and dog holds a easy relationship, so because of which I can actually create instances of any different animal and have its reference stored with animal only. Okay, so now I have one moment. So I can create any instances of any different animal, and I can actually store it with animal reference. Okay, so now,
Sir, hello.
yes.
Sir, actually, I want to ask you. Here we just created animal doggy equal to new dog. So can we create dog doggy equal to new animal?
No,
Okay.
it's
Actually,
not the other way.
Yes, sir. Would you please explain this line, sir? That
Yeah.
why can we can they take that one?
Actually, explaining it to you, like every dog is an animal, but every animal is not a dog, right? That is
Correct,
why
sir.
we are making animal as a super class.
Okay, okay, sir.
Okay, so that is why I cannot create instances of animal and store it with a dog.
Okay.
Okay, now going into memory level understanding of this, for example, give me a moment, guys. I'll be back.
Okay, okay, sir.
Yeah. Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yeah, Pawan.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Actually, there was someone at the door, so I had to attend that. Okay. So coming back. So now, if I'm calling this make sound method, which one do you think it will be called? Do you think the method make sound within the animal or the dog?
Sir, dog.
Yes, that is the latest implementation of make sound method. Exactly, that will be called, right?
Yes, sir.
That will be called, right?
Yes, sir.
Then why is it not calling make sound method of animal? Sorry.
Because we called dog,
Okay,
no,
okay.
sir.
Yes, because I've not implemented that in here. Okay, so I'll say system.out. I'll say, okay. Again, I'll run the same thing. You'll find the difference, right? I didn't have that make sound implementation in dog, so it was actually referring to my method in the animal class. Now, say I have to perform, or I have to, okay, even before I get into this function level, I'll actually explain you at a memory level what happens. I'll bring up the paint. Okay, as soon as my program is loaded, there is a stack which is created, and there is a heap memory for all my objects. Okay, so this is my stack and my heap. Okay, so now for example, I'm creating, in this case, I've told you what happens when I actually write this line. There are 3 steps which happen. Can anyone tell me those 3 steps?
Those were you told earlier: initialization, instantiation, and
First of all, declaration,
declaration. Yeah,
and then instantiation and initialization. So
initialization,
declaration part happens during compile time, the other 2 happens during runtime.
runtime.
So during declaration time, what happens that only this part is seen, right? So now during declaration, a doggy is of animal type.
Yes.
Okay. So now wherever doggy's references are found, like for example, doggy dot make sound, it will always check during compile time whether this make sound method is there in animal class or not. Okay. That's it. Now, any method within animal class can only be called by doggy object. So, if I'm trying to call a method doggy dot to whole, okay, this is not possible because I accept doggy is an object of dog, but this method is actually found in dog class. But during compilation time, as you can see here, it is throwing me an error saying is an unidentified method for the type animal. Because during compilation time, doggy is an object of animal. It's not an object of dog. That is why whatever the methods you wish to call from this kind of relationship has to be present in the parent class. Okay, so now I cannot do this. Okay, now what happens during compilation time is that I have an animal reference which is created. The reference on the stack is animal type, okay, which is the name doggy. Now during runtime, what happens? There is an object called doggy created on my heap, and the reference of which is provided to this. Okay, So during runtime only, my method during runtime, since this dog object is instantiated and given its reference to doggy, whatever the method which doggy wishes to execute, like for example in this case make sound, during compile time also it was successful because make sound was present within animal, and during runtime also it was successful because make sound is present within dog. Okay, what if make sound was not present within dog? It will actually pick up the implementation which is present within my animal class. Simple. Now so this shows that whatever the object which is created at runtime will hold more precedence in method call, like in terms of method calling. So now what happens, how do I actually call some method which is specific to dog? Some method specific to animal I can easily call it, right? Like for example perform walk, which is specific to animal class. Okay, doggy dot perform walk, I can call this by all means and it will work totally fine because its implementation is present within animal. Now consider I have some method which is specific to my dog class, like for example dig a hole. How do I call that? My compile time case would definitely fail. Doggy dot dig a hole, right? This was failing, right? It was saying dig a hole is undefined for type animal. How do I do? Then how do I call some method which is specific to my dog class? Anyone? Can anyone tell me? Preetham, Hemant?
No idea, sir.
I just have to cast it, guys. That's it. I have to say at compile time only that my doggy is an object of type dog. So call this method. That's it. Simple.
Okay.
Anyone remember typecasting?
Yeah, we remember.
Yes. The same thing I've done here. It doesn't make any difference. Only the reference was animal, but the actual object was a dog. So it doesn't make any difference to again compile time also saying it as a dog itself, right? There is no information loss actually in this case. So it's totally fine. Clear? So this was in case of my runtime polymorphism or method overriding. Why do I say method overriding? Because an existing feature or an existing implementation of a particular method is actually overridden by a different implementation. That is why it's called as overriding. And dynamic polymorphism is named because the method is chosen dynamically at runtime. It is not chosen at the compile time. That is why it's called as dynamic polymorphism. Okay, so there are a few rules again in case of dynamic polymorphism also. So how do I, first of all, what is the first case? Same name. Yes, this is the case, right? And in case of parameters,
Yeah, rest should be same.
yes, it should be same. Parameters should be same. And in what
Return type
relationship? Yes, return types can be same or different.
should be same.
It can be different.
Okay.
One moment. And how about relationship? How do I achieve this? Runtime polymorphism can be done in case of inheritance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Only in
Yes.
case of having a easy relationship, I can achieve runtime polymorphism. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So this is with my static and dynamic polymorphism. Okay. So any doubts so far?
No, Pawan.
No.
Okay. Okay. That is it for us. We have for the day.
Pawan, do we have
Yes.
any assignments for this? Because
Yeah,
I
you
don't see any assignment in the Cat Guild main page.
actually there under resources category you have assignment questions.
Under resources category. Okay.
Yeah. Try with exploring more that website so that you'll get to know. Or one easy thing I would suggest is that you get in touch with support people, so they'll help you out.
Okay, fine. Fine, Pawan.
Hmm?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Oh, so I guess you have not started off any assignments so far.
Yeah, Pawan, because I haven't, I was unable to see it and I just forgot to drop mail to Padma also. So we'll do that today.
Okay, no problem.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so guys, we'll conclude here. We'll reconvene again tomorrow. Let me know if you have any doubts.
Yeah, sure, Pawan. Thanks a
Sure.
lot.
Thanks a
Thanks.
lot.
So, see you all.